All right, guys. The video I'm doing today is kind of specific to the sniper. I made a video a while ago about my sniper review a year after, and one of the common issues with the sniper is it's got a really stiff um, throttle. And some guys have changed the linkage, and this is a common thing that is getting done. I figure I'd just show you guys what I did. A lot of guys do it. Essentially, your sniper setup, when your cable's running straight, it's got no leverage, so you're pulling straight, and you're pulling on straight tension. And as you guys know, angles on for leverage are everything. So like if you guys are familiar with like tow trucks, you use a snatch block, and it helps the pulling force of your winch or whatever you're using to pull something up onto a flatbed. Well, this is the same theory. You add a little bit of pitch to your cable, and it makes the throttle super soft. So what I did was, and I've done this before, I did this on the other sniper setup that I did. I just made a small little steel bracket, and you are going to have to drill into, you don't have to drill, you can make a stop. I drilled into mine. You can make a little tang on the bracket so that it positively stays on, because if you use one bolt, it's going to pull it. So you need to make something to positively hold your bracket extension so that it doesn't pull over. And by that I mean, when you got one bolt, it'll want to do this. So I'll show you guys. I made a nice little steel bracket here, bolted it into the original hole where this is where I had my throttle. I adjusted my linkage, brought it forward, and as you guys can see, I raised it, but now we got a little bit of an angle. You can imagine this little triangle here. And this little bracket here extending forward and up makes a huge difference on how soft your pedal is going to be in the car. And I will tell you, this will actually change how the throttle body reacts. Because before I would flat foot it, just revving it, and that tension that it had almost felt like it was like a gradual delay, where I think the ECU thought it was like in some form of cruise mode, and when it finally hit, it would always have like a weird lean spot in the AFR, because I think it was like in suspense. I could be wrong, for all I know. So anyway, I got a bolt holding it through, and then I got a small screw here to hold it in place. I opted to drill it, and I just threw in a nice, coarse thread screw in there that's on there. I drilled it to the correct size so that I had proper bite, and then my linkage is now up here. And now when it pulls, it's a lot easier. Obviously, it's still stiff here because I'm pulling it straight how it would be, and I got two springs. But in the car, huge difference. So guys, when you guys had, if you guys have set up your Sniper EFI and you find that you got a super stiff throttle, that is one quick little modification you could do at home. If you got some basic cutting tools, a drill, you can drill it, and that's going to make a huge world of difference. I waited a long time to do this. I really don't know why. I've known about it, but this weekend we're going to be taking this car to the track. My wife's going to be driving it, and this has been a concern for both of us. The throttle is like super sticky. And now it feels, the throttle is firm, but it's easy to maneuver. It's not like trying to, it's not just about mashing the gas. You want to be able to mash the gas, have that positive feel, but you also want to be able to get from, I guess if you're looking at your TPS reading, you want to be able to go from 0 to 100%, just like you would in a carburetor or any other situation. I think the fact that this system, in a way, I think for the GM cars, a lot of people have ran into little issues where the angle is just a little off. Again, this is a common thing that guys have already done. I'm not showing you guys anything new. I'm just showing you how I did it. Hopefully it helps some people out there with your stiff pedal issue on the Sniper EFI. We're going to see how this thing performs at the track. I'm not expecting this car to go the fastest. We're going to see how consistent it can be, and what I'm looking for is mile an hour mainly, to see how consistent it can be back to back. We're not really looking for ET at the moment, because this car if it'll run in the 15s, I'll be really happy because this is a heavier car. It's got a 308 gear. When I had this particular engine in my olds, I had probably about 400 pounds less on the car. I had a little bit more gear, and this car, the Oldsmobile I should say, ran a 1387 when the car was all steel with a 373 gear. But it's essentially almost the same setup, engine, torque converter, trans that was in my 72. Actually, I take that back. I had a turbo 400 with the 2200 stall. I have a turbo 350 with a 2200 stall. And for those of you who either know or don't know, the turbo 400 is like a dump truck trans. It's bulletproof almost in stock form for probably up to 550 horse. But one of its things is that it's heavier. It's got heavier internals, less internals than the turbo 350, but it kills between 20 and 25 horsepower depending on the combination. So there is some differences, and we're going to see how it does. But for the main point of this video was to show you guys that bracket, that extension. You know, it's all about, I guess, the geometry of it. And if you can envision that, like I said, that snatch block, you know, guys who use tow trucks, who have flatbed trailers with winches, if you use a snatch block, it gives you more pulling force because, you know, it's like the difference between trying to pick up a log and leveraging a log that's heavy with a pry bar and something underneath it. It adds that much pulling force to it. So guys, that's this quick little video on the Sniper EFI, you know, stiff throttle issue. Share, like, subscribe, follow along. You know, I'm on Instagram, Copper Cutlass, on Facebook, Copper's Garage, of course on YouTube if you're watching this, Copper Cutlass. So give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you guys like what we do here. This car is going to go through some major changes this winter. So follow along, guys. It should be interesting. We're going to do a little bit of everything, framework, suspension work. I got a big block I'm building for it. I'm going to be building a Turbo 400 for it, a rear end with 373 gears. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your own home boxed control arms kind of from scratch. Show you guys how to do that. So guys, share, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.